The Fed announcing sweeping new investing rules for officials and senior staff, barring trading in individual stocks and bonds, among other things. These ethics concerns, some of which date back to March 2020, come amid a turbulent time for the Fed as it grapples with how to best tackle rising inflation. One of my next guests says the new rules give Congress some justification to remove Chair Powell. Joining me now is Bill Lee. He's Milken Institute's chief economist, and he's alongside our very own Steve Leisman for some more reporting on this issue as well. Bill, it's good to have you. So tell me, justification in what sense?
Well, the rules have codified the behavior that Fed staff have understood for the longest time. The fact that we had some bad actors doing things that had the optics of doing terrible trading and taking opportunities of their position is a stain on the Fed staff that the Chair Powell is going to have to live down. One of the things that we have to realize, though, is that if we truly believe in diversity, we're going to have to find a way to recruit people from all over, including people who've had successful careers in the financial markets. That's the hard part. How do you allow these guys to have enough portfolio room to adjust their portfolios and rebalance them the way our textbooks are telling us to do in personal finance, and at the same time stay within the boundaries of doing the proper thing while sitting at the Fed?
You know, we spoke with Randy Krasner, Bill, about this yesterday, who thinks that no policies were violated with the trading, although I believe the policy did say to avoid the appearance of conflicts of interest. Do you think that that policy was violated with these trades? If it looks bad, is that the whole point?
The point is, if it looks bad, it is bad. And if you're in a public position like the Federal Reserve, you're well aware of that. I think we were taught this from day one that when we entered the Fed as young economists. And what surprises me is that when we parachute guys from the outside, like Kaplan and even what surprises me is Rosengren, who has been an insider his entire career. Rich Clarida essentially has said, I had these pre-programmed rebalancing of my portfolio, and these sort of things that were well known. They did not take advantage of any decisions. So I think we have to make some room for individual allowances to let people who have these special needs be able to conduct their business, but with strict guidelines. And that's what the new rules have codified.
Well, see, we certainly know that this now covers a lot more than it would have before their response to the pandemic. And I think people could even understand if the pandemic response came first and then maybe divestments or a change was made swiftly thereafter. It's just that it took 18 months until it was reported, by the press for the Fed to then quickly scramble to come up with, a change in policy.
Boy, Kelly, I all due respect to Bill, I think he misreads the situation. I think it's far worse than he gets on from just a couple bad actors. What was going on with these trades was known to other people inside the Federal Reserve. Where were they to say something? Kaplan was engaging in trades like this before 2020. And now we know that a memo went out, which is now on your screen, in March of 2020. In light of the rapidly developing nature of recent and likely upcoming system actions, please consider observing a trading blackout and avoid making unnecessary security transactions for at least the next several months. And many people did trades like that, Bill. So I would like to believe, as much as you want to think that the Federal Reserve is one of the good guys out there, which I think has been proven to be true in terms of what do you want to say, up and up agencies out there. But this was going on inside the organization, and there's no sense at all that there was any check and balance inside the organization to these types of trades that were happening now that we know, especially that March 2020 note went out.
I also, Steve, I don't know if you have any more reporting on this, but I found it curious that the Boston Fed won't be releasing more information about Rosengren's trades. I don't know if there's a rationale, but in the Reuters story, I couldn't find one. Why not be fully transparent if there's nothing to hide?
I'm hoping this all comes out, Kelly, in the IG's investigation. I feel like we know what we need to know about Eric Rosengren's trades. He was buying mortgage-backed securities alongside the Federal Reserve, making multiple trades. And now that we know this March 2020 thing came out and it was sent to all the Fed officials, it looks even worse. And Kaplan as well. I mean, that this note went out, maybe it wasn't followed. And even where were the ethics officers inside the individual district banks who would have received this memo ostensibly from the Board of Governors Ethics Office saying, no, the guidance now we're getting from Washington is not to do this. So it looks to me, with all due respect to Bill, like the system failed in multiple places.